At a tech company's town hall, a CFO kicks a janitor's bucket and forces a humiliating on-stage cleanup. A mid-level employee steps in, cuts the CFO's mic, shields the janitor, and takes the professional hit. The aftermath reshapes small habits and policies, revealing quiet burdens and a softer, steadier normal without fanfare. Before we get started, tap like, share, and subscribe to join the journey. And tell me, where in the world are you watching? Drop your country below. I love seeing the global trail of these stories. The CFO kicked the yellow bucket so hard it skidded. Grey water fanned across the glossy stage and slapped the custodian in the shin. Smile for the livestream, the CFO said, teeth tight. He nudged the mop handle toward the man's chest with the side of his shoe, pushing until the man had to grab it to keep it from falling. Grey water crept toward the speaker cables. June felt the laugh ripple over her shoulders like heat. She sat 5 rows back in the dim, knees pressed against the seat in front of her, the air cold from the vents. The lights blinded the front row. Phones were up, lenses small and shiny. Behind the CFO, the slide read, "Cut to win." He was pale under the stage LEDs, thin and pinched, running on espresso and the attention of 1,000 eyes. "Watch how fast he cleans when it matters," he said. "Ownership, folks. 2 months to vest." June heard her manager's voice in her head, soft but sharp. "Don't make noise right now." She had hit her targets. Her mother was on her health plan. Her lease renewal sat in her inbox. She had smiled through a dozen town halls like this. The custodian had a grey stubble and a blue shirt with a washed-out patch where a name should be. His sock showed above a cracked work shoe. He blinked under the lights, small motion, like it hurt. She stood up before she decided to. The rows vibrated with shifting legs, whispered jokes, the sound of a candy wrapper crinkling. She stepped into the aisle. The COO leaned back as she passed and made a face she couldn't read. The stage manager near the curtain looked at her with a hand half raised, as if to stop, then let it drop. The CFO kept talking. "Speed is love," he said, and his jaw clicked on the mic. June walked up the stairs at the side of the stage. Her lungs felt high and tight. She moved past the teleprompter screens and the heat of the LEDs. She pressed the little switch on his mic pack until the light went red. His voice cut mid-word. The room hummed and then dropped into the sound of air vents and 1,000 breaths. "Hey," the CFO said, startled. He had that single-beat look of a man who had lost a prop. June took the mop handle out of the man's hands. She put her navy blazer around his waist, covering the wet leg. The fabric stuck to the water and then clung. "Come with me," she said to him, fingers light on his elbow. The CFO found his voice without the mic and raised it. "Return to your seat," he said. He kept his smile on, but it had too many teeth now. June didn't move. She stepped between the man and the CFO. The bucket trembled beside them, water sloshing. She picked it up and set it upright, away from the cables. "It's a slip hazard," she said. Calm, like she was logging a bug. "We're clearing the stage." The CFO's face did a small twitch at the corner of his eye. He looked past her, toward the wings, toward the stage manager, toward his team. No one crossed the gap yet. He pinched the bridge of his nose with 2 fingers and let out a laugh that didn't sound like one. "This is a little bit, okay? We're talking about standards." "You made your point," June said. She guided the custodian toward the wing. His shirt stuck to his back. His hands were wet. 2 security guards hit the stairs at once, black shirts, earpieces flashing. One spoke into a mic at his shoulder. The other held his palm out toward June like a stop sign. "We need you to step off," he said. His tone was flat, not cruel. "A script. Don't touch him," she said. Her voice came out clearer than she felt. "Ma'am," the guard started. "Write me up," she said, "but don't touch him." They let her through the wing with the custodian. On the big screen, a looping ad started, soft music and drone shots of their office at dusk. Someone had hit a failover. The phone buzzed. "Please step out. HR will reach out." Another buzz. "What did you do?" from her manager. Blue dots bubbled and disappeared. In the service corridor, cool and beige, she walked at the custodian's pace. He limped a little. The blazer slid down. She adjusted the knot at his waist. He seemed to be holding his breath. "They call me Darren," he said, almost too quiet to hear. "June," she said. Down in the loading dock, the air smelled like wet cardboard and citrus cleaner. A forklift beeped far away and then went quiet. Fluorescent lights buzzed. She dug in her tote and handed him a pack of new socks she had bought after a rainstorm last month and never used. He peeled off the wet ones without looking up. His legs had old bruises like fingerprints. He rolled the new socks on slow. His hands shook. June took paper towels from a dispenser and blotted his pants. It felt absurd, precise work in a place where pallets leaned and dust gathered under rails. He leaned on his cart, steadying himself. A small radio on the cart murmured an AM talk show about traffic. "You okay to keep cleaning?" she asked. He stared at the floor drain. "Gotta finish the 9th-floor kitchens by 4, he said. Matter of fact, not defiance. The words landed like bricks. She pulled out her wallet. "Do you have a spare uniform?" He nodded at a black backpack under the cart. She unzipped it, a clean blue shirt, a folded pair of black pants that had gone shiny at the knees. She slid her blazer off his waist and held up the pants like a curtain while he stepped into them behind the cart. She stared at the yellow caution sign as he changed, the kind you see and then forget, a little stick figure slipping forever. When he was dressed, she walked with him to the service elevator. She hit the button with her elbow. She had already missed 3 calendar invites. Her badge would likely stop working any minute. Her hands felt empty. She left him with the elevator, the doors closing with a soft clunk. His eyes held on hers for a beat. No big thank you. He gave her the kind of nod people give after moving a couch together. June walked out of the dock and into the alley, her legs blurring. Her phone rang. Unknown number. She didn't pick up. She crossed to the diner on the corner and bought soup and 2 rolls. Back inside, she found him again between carts and pallets. They ate soup from paper cups on a milk crate. The liquid was too hot, and then not hot enough. The steam carried the smell of chicken and celery. He ate slowly and breathed through his nose. He reached for a napkin and his backpack tipped. Papers slid a little out of a manila folder with a frayed edge. A folded eviction notice sat under a rubber band. Past due. Court dates circled in pencil. She slid the folder back without a sound. He nodded once, a shy closed motion, and pressed his palm on the folder as if to flatten it. He pulled out a small square photo, corners bent. A kid around 8, missing baby teeth, holding a cardboard robot in a school gym. "My grandson," he said, like he had been holding the words in his mouth since the stage. He tucked the photo back in. June put a 20 on the milk crate, and then another. He didn't reach for them. She pushed the bills under the soup cup so they would get wet if anyone tried to make him hand them back. "You need a ride tonight?" she asked. "Bus," he said. "I know the driver." "Okay," she said. She texted a number she had for the building maintenance supervisor and typed, "Darren needs a uniform replacement." It was soaked at the town hall. The typing dots came and went. Noted, came back, no emoji. She sat with him until the soup was gone and the air cooled another notch. His breathing slowed. Above them, a pipe ticked as it adjusted. When she stepped outside, her badge buzzed and went dark. Her inbox filled. Administrative leave, 1 email said, "Dry as toast." She put the phone face down in her bag and walked home, watching her shadow slide over the concrete. 2 weeks later, the stage was bare and dry. No props. No big coffee cups to smack onto the floor with a showman smack. She watched a stream from her couch, the video a few seconds behind real time. The CFO read from a card, staying close to the lectern. No live demos with vendor staff. A slide said in small font and no color. A sign appeared above the trash cans. "Please toss your own." It was printed in plain black letters and taped crooked. People took photos of it and then stopped taking photos of it. In the open kitchen, a box of blue gloves now sat next to the sink with a note, "For facilities use. Please don't take." The box stayed full longer. Someone had ordered better mops. The heads were thick, not the stringy ones that fall apart. She saw Darren once by the street as she walked past the building, hoodie up against wind. He pushed his yellow bucket toward the ramp, gloves new and thicker blue. He had a small knee brace now, good brand, not cheap. Security held the loading dock door open with a boot as he passed. One of the engineers in a colored hoodie carried his own trash out to the dock. A VP rinsed his coffee mug in the sink and wiped the counter with a brown towel, quick, like he'd been doing it for a while. On the internal chat, someone started a channel called #ThanksCrew. It was corny, but also filled with photos of clean microwaves and notes left on carts that said, "We got it today." An assistant posted a checklist for the end of day. Wipe the sink, clear the stage, leave water off. June sat on her stoop with a paper bag of bagels and flicked through the stream again. She watched the clean stage. Someone had put down a long black mat where the lectern stood. Safety tape pinned cables in neat, bright lines. No one mentioned the town hall thing. The day rolled. Her leave turned into a separation. An HR email scheduled a final call. 2 checks would come. Her name would be taken off the directory. She said okay into a quiet line and signed with her finger. She took a short job at a non-profit a bus ride away. It wasn't fancy. The coffee tasted like paper. When she unlocked the door early on her first morning, she wiped the sink and took out the trash first, not because of a policy, but because the bin was full and it made the room easier to breathe in. She walked past the old office once more on her way home. The sun was low. Through the glass, she saw Darren push his cart in slow, careful arcs. He paused, resting both hands on the handle, and stretched his back. A developer in a bright beanie said something to him and held his own cup, waiting. Darren nodded and moved on. June could still feel the moment on the stage in her chest, bright and sharp like touching a live wire. It faded every time she watched him move through his day without eyes on him, without a mic nearby, without a joke pressed into his work. She had blown up her own neat line of calendar blocks and sliding glass. The sky didn't fall. It shifted. In the silver bucket by the open door, a square of sky sat unbothered. The light on the wet floor made a clean shape. Darren's fingers were steady on the handle. The door hummed a little in the wind and then was quiet.